G'day legends, thanks for tuning in. Now, as some of you would have seen, I recently upgraded the motor on my boat to a brand new 140 horsepower Suzuki 4-stroke. Now, to make sure I was getting the absolute maximum performance out of this motor, I was lucky enough to spend a couple of hours on the water testing props with Ben from Suzuki. Now, I figured while I was at it, I may as well bring the camera along so I can show you guys the process involved in selecting a prop for your boat. Now, hopefully you guys learn a thing or two here and you can take this information back and see if you're running the right prop on your rig at home. Hope you enjoy. Cheers.
So a quick rundown on propellers. Choosing the right propeller is important. We're currently running a 14x19 alloy prop on this 140. So we're going to toy today with a couple of different propellers. You'll find they'll do different things to the performance depending on hull shot and your top end speed, the way they grip the water. So we're just going to have a bit of a play today, look at the results we get out of it, look at the fuel economy and go from there.
Well, there you go. I'm going to turn the rocket ship into even more of a rocket ship. It's going to be good. I'm interested to see how the difference in the props really changes the speed, the economy, all that sort of stuff. So we're going to get on the water and see what we can find out. So we just tested top end speed. It's getting just over 6,200 revs, which is right on par with what you want, isn't it?
It's normally where we want to see it.
So we're all good in the revs department. Now we're just going to test whole shot and see how that differs between the props as well. Been dehatted. Well, go fast enough to blow a hat off a head. Oh no, so that's the 19 pitch alley. We're just taking it off now on the water. And what are we going to try next? The stainless or the
19 stainless? So the 19 stainless actually has a slightly smaller diameter. Still retains the same pitch, and of course the stainless props actually have a bit of cupping on it. So we'll see what sort of variance that makes with speed and the specs at each RPM increment, fuel economy, and we'll go from there.
So it is pretty simple just to take a prop off. It's only a split pin and a bolt, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it pretty much. Split pin, chuck the nut on the back, and yeah. Something else we've got on these as well is we've actually got this line cutter system. So you see these little notches that are in the box there and in the thrust washer. So that's actually there. If you do get line in, it can actually cut it up and stop it from winding around the prop shaft.
Yeah, big shiny one.
You'll see, you'll feel the back end there. You feel that lip that's on the back there. So that's the cupping. See, it's not really on that.
Yeah.
You can't really feel it.
Yeah, righto.
Yeah, so that's a cupping that's naturally on the stainless props. They're still running a similar hub and all that, but you find too, because it's a stronger metal, the stainless can actually be thinner. So you'll find an alloy prop will probably be a little thicker, and the stainless can be a bit thinner, which is a lot more efficient in the water. So you find with alloy props that they can actually flex at the higher RPMs and higher speeds, and you don't really find that with stainless. The stainless being a harder metal actually retains its shape, so it's not uncommon to actually fit a stainless propeller and find that you'll knock some RPMs but you'll still achieve the same speed. So this is sort of why we're looking at this now. Yeah, as mentioned, the stainless prop is a little bit thinner as well, so that does actually help with efficiency, and you'll find they've actually got a bit of cupping on the back end. Again, it helps grip the water a bit better, and you can achieve a higher speed at lower RPM. So we'll give this one a crack and see what sort of results we get from it.
And the most important thing is they look damn cool because they're really shiny. So that's an extra 3 or 4 knots just in shininess. So that's it there. Give it a bit of tighten. Then you just got to chuck the split pin through?
Yeah, absolutely. So, on the Suzuki system, we run a split pin. It's a good idea to always put a new split pin in when you do them. When you sort of pulling an old one out, you're flexing it around, the stainless actually work hardens. So it's not often, if ever, that it will actually crack or break and the split pin will come out, but it's just good practice just to chuck a split pin through, brand new one, bend it over. Because we're testing, I'm not going to fold the pin all the way over. That's enough to sort of hold it in. Once we're finished, we've changed all our props out, happy with the one we want, we'll actually put a new one in and fold it all the way over.
Righto, so we're just going to go through the rev range with the 19 pitch stainless prop. We're just going to test every rev range to see the economy on that, and then we're going to do some pace and hole shots and see how it performs. We've just been cutting some laps with the stainless 19, and Ben, mate, what have we found out?
We've definitely had an improvement. So fuel economy looks like it's a lot better. The kilometres per the RPM are up. We're still getting some reasonable revs out of the prop. That'll be because of a few things. We have gone down in diameter, which does play a big part to the overall RPM. And as mentioned, the prop is a thinner prop, so there is more efficiency there. But yeah, the grip is just next level, going from the alloy to the stainless with that cupping. As you've seen before, we experienced a little bit of slip and a tight turn with the alloy, and now we can't get it to let go. So yeah, it's definitely an improvement. We might actually try a slightly smaller prop again, just to see what the results are. If the boat is heavy loaded, if you're running an esky and say 2 or 3 more people, just as an option, and then yeah, we'll go from there.
So what that grip is when we're doing really tight turns, the motor's not, the prop's not cavitating or losing grip in the water. Now what that means for me as a fisherman is if I'm going through a bar crossing and some big wave just pops up out of nowhere, I actually probably have the option to turn around and just get out of there. If you can turn nice and sharp at speed, then you've got a whole lot of options in bar crossing situations. So that's good news from a fishing point of view. We're going to do some hole shots and see how it goes as well. Alright, give it a hit. Yeah. I reckon that even jumps a bit more.
Yeah, it
jumps. Definitely.
42, 4300, 37 k's an hour, 2.4 k's a litre. So I'll jump those revs up a bit, half trim, 4500. 39 k's an hour, 2.31. So and this is before the lean burns actually kicked in and started to work. So yeah, no, it's definitely a good result.
Might add too, this is going against a pretty strong run out tide. So we got new moon tomorrow, and we're going against the tide, so that's pretty cool too. Right, so we've just swapped out the 19 to the 17, and we're going to give that a fly and see how it differs in the performance range.
This prop probably won't be the propeller that you'd use for the boat, but as mentioned before, if you are looking to go out for a day and you're looking to load the vessel and maybe have a lot more people on board, sometimes it's a good idea to have that spare prop or a second prop that is a different size to what you normally run. And that way you can maintain your fuel efficiency. You know, you can just have that best prop for the setup for the day. And having a spare prop on the boat is like having a spare wheel. If you happen to damage one or slip a hub or anything like that, the ability to change it out is pretty easy, and it just doesn't ruin your day on the water. So, all right, let's give it a run.
Righto, now what are we finding with the 17?
Well, as expected, we were going to be down on speed. The actual litres per hour fuel burn is down. Because the motor's not under load, so it's not using as much fuel in the RPMs. But the actual economy, so your K's per litre, that's reduced. So yeah, we've lost fuel economy because we're not achieving the same speed for that RPM. But yeah, all in all, again, it would be a good prop if you're going to load your boat. You know, if it's a couple of 100 kilos heavier than what you would normally run on a day out. But ideally, I think the 19 is going to be the right prop for this boat.
Now, where this prop is probably going to shine is hole shot, because it's able to take more repetitions in a quicker space of time. We should rocket us out of the water pretty quick. So we're going to give that a quick test just for funsies. Yeah, we're holding on. Far away. Yep. Yep. Well, there's no doubting that. It definitely comes out of the hole a lot faster, which is to be expected, but probably for the majority of stuff I want to do, I think the 19 is going to be the way forward. Well, there you go, guys. It just goes to show how much difference the right prop can make to your boat. So keep that in mind whenever you buy a boat. The guy before you probably didn't put the work in, so it's always good to get someone like Ben out. Ben from Suzuki. He knows his stuff a lot more than I would. So, mate, we end up with the 19-inch stainless, 19-inch pitch stainless. Sorry.
Yeah, it seems to be the best prop for this boat. There is no definitive propeller for any boat. It's always different. You know, production boats aren't always built exactly the same, especially if they're hand built. So you might find you run a different prop, different motor, different horsepower. So it is important, but as you've seen today, you can see the actual results from running different props. You know, it depends where you're going to use it to. If you're doing a lot of blue water work, it's you know, you can run a stainless prop and don't have to worry about sort of hitting things or hitting the bottom or a log or a rock. But if you're going to run a river or dams where you might actually, you know, hit those obstructions, you know, people might not run a stainless and run an alloy instead. So, you know, there's a different prop for every application and depending on the person and how they want to use it.
So it's just about finding the right prop to suit your needs. For me, this is going to go great for turning around if I need to in a hurry in a bar situation. It's got great economy, so for when I'm offshore chasing marlin and all that sort of stuff, and for the longer trips. And it's got good top end speed and good hole shots, so for me that's absolutely perfect. Mate, thanks for coming out.
Beautiful.
And I might even know him a fishing trip or two now.
No worries.
Let's do it. Alright guys, if you like to learn something today, make sure you leave us a comment below, hit that like button, subscribe. There's plenty of new fishing action to come. So yeah, check your props. Have a good one, guys.